On this day 6 years ago, Muhammad Ali passed away. The city of Louisville paused. Crowds flocked to the streets for his funeral. You know his words, "I am the greatest, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm too pretty to get hit." But it's his core values and service to others that still influence people around the world. WDRB photojournalist Neil Johnson shows us how some of them paid their respects today, one rose at a time.
We're from Washington State, and this feels really important. And I'm choked up, sorry.
And I believe I was a freshman in college. I was of draft age, and here's this guy who's one of the most famous people in the world saying, "Nope, hell no, I'm not going." That was huge. It was a really tough time in our country, and it was nice to have somebody in that spot that we could look up to and say, "We're with you." Tough times back then.
What did it mean to you today to pay your respects to him?
Oh, teary-eyed. You know, this is the guy.
He was such an important truth teller and stood up courageously for himself and others. He was really beautiful.
I am Muhammad Ali's grandnephew. When I walked up and saw the display, it instantly took me back to a few years ago, I think 6 today, when he did pass. Everyone sort of shares about Muhammad Ali that he gave great speeches, that he was an intense person both in the ring and outside, but gentle. And I think having that duality is sort of what speaks to what's going on in the world today. And I think it's a blessing to be able to celebrate it because that's what sort of guides my life in terms of his principles, his teachings, to own your narrative and not be defined just by what you do, but how you do it. Best role model I could ever ask for. He's my best friend. He's with me right now.
Photojournalist Neil Johnson with that story. You know what I remember about that day? We were struggling with violence in Louisville like we still are today.
Yeah.
There were no shootings that day. There were no homicides. There was no murder. There weren't tears, on the streets of Louisville. Everyone kind of came together. I also remember this young boy who ran next to the hearse and was shadow boxing, just like Ali used to do. There were some powerful moments here that day.
Inspiring generations and also people from all over, not just the city, but from all over the country that were here. Dignitaries to people that just traveled here to be here that day. And, it was Ali's quick wit and his lasting wisdom, really, that just, he had it all. He was just, there were a one of a kind. And that's why I think the impact will go on forever for his life.
Yeah, people will be talking about him for years and generations to come.